What about that? Can you hear me? What about that? Let me see. Is that better? Man, it's always something. It's always something, man. It's always something. What about now? How's that? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know something. Put, put a one in the chat for me, Mike Reed. What up, bro? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. So I don't be talking to myself. Cool. Cool. Yeah, man. So yeah, but like I said, I've been working on this business, so been kind of out of commission. Yeah. So, hey, have y'all noticed that we had all of that talk about Diddy, and for like the last, I would say for the last 2 weeks, it's been real quiet. It's been real quiet. Everything we've heard has been pretty much from a few weeks ago. So, like, you ain't hearing nothing now. I guess some people wanted to sweep that under the rug. I guess they got the distraction word out there. Besides, we got that Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef going on, you know, making hip hop, making rap exciting again. And it's really the SBE Awards, you know, it's really been the SBE Awards. Mike Reed said Silent Night. Yeah, on that Puffy situation, yeah, man, it got real quiet. They got real quiet. You know, everything that you haven't really been seeing anything new on it. Everything that's out has been from a few weeks ago. It's nothing really new. So yeah, I think some people want to sweep that under the rug, as I've said before. And I'm not surprised because there's a lot of people with a lot at stake that they don't want certain stuff to get out. They don't want it to get out that they like to party. Yeah. You know, they don't want nobody to know they like clapping Carl Winslow's cheeks. So it's then got real quiet. All right, they had I saw a video earlier today with Cuba Gooding Jr. on PBD podcast. And, you know, he was implicated as being one of them Diddy partiers. And so they you know, all in the chat with that video, people was saying stuff about the Diddy party. You know, he kind of brushed over that, man. Like, you know, he gave a disclaimer that he don't really hang out with Diddy like that. And he only met him twice, you know, and he's got his lawyers working on it. I'm sure a lot of people have their lawyers looking into that whole kerfuffle. So anyway, so let me ask you all this: would you rather be in the woods with a bear or a woman? Would you rather be in the woods with a bear or a woman? You know, they asked women this question of would they rather be, I guess, lost in the woods or in the woods with a bear or some random man. And these women said they would rather be the bear. And I guess it was a bunch of women. I don't know how many women it was for sure, but they said they'd rather be in there with a bear because, you know, if the, you know, they know what to expect from the bear, but they don't know what to expect from the man. I found that interesting because there are literally hundreds of bear attack videos on YouTube alone. I don't know about other social media platforms and other streaming platforms, but there are quite a few bear attacks. Bears breaking in people's houses and whooping ass in the house. You know, but these women say they would rather be alone in the woods with a bear than a man. And I found that funny because there a lot of the reasoning came down to they don't know what to expect from the man and that the man might try to do something to them. These are the same women, a lot of them, that got on these gaming platforms and started selling peace sleep. These are the same ones, they get social media accounts and they want to show breast and butts. Every other picture, they ain't showing their big ass faces, they're showing breast and butt. But they're worried about what a random man would do to them. I'm like this, cool. You want to be in the woods with a bear? Cool. So if I ever see you in the woods, I come across you in the woods, and a bear is eating you, I'm leaving. I'm not doing nothing to help. This is why I say unattached women don't deserve protection because they don't appreciate it. They don't recognize it and they don't appreciate it. So, that I'm like this. I'm to the point that if it is not a woman in your personal circle and that has shown herself to be a decent human being, don't protect it. Don't risk your safety and your freedom and your life and your money to protect some strange woman because she might file a YouTube claim. You know what? They'll be out there in the woods and somehow make it back to civilization, and they'll mess around and file a YouTube claim against the bear. I think the bears are more in danger from the women than the women are in danger from bears. You know, I don't blame men who say they don't want to be alone somewhere but with some strange random woman. We've seen lots of cases where women have actually lied on men and said men have done things to them that we come to find out later didn't happen. Project Innocence is freeing guys all the time to where it's found out that women lied on them in the courtroom. Mike Reed says, when they said a bear would snack on you like a bag of Doritos had me shook. Yeah, a bear will eat you alive. I'm not just saying something. This has been shown. If you look at the Timothy Treadwell video, if you listen to audio from the Timothy Treadwell video, that grizzly bear that he was familiar with, that he had been around since it was a grizzly bear cub, decided to eat Timothy Treadwell and his girlfriend. And you can hear the audio of this bear eating them alive. He didn't simply maul them, he started eating them alive. It's crazy. We also know that from biologists that bears are omnivorous, meaning that bears will eat virtually anything they can get their hands on that seems edible. And I'm sure these bears, when they see these old soft body, frumpy, marshmallow looking girls, they go, ooh, that's a big snack. And they eat them. These are the same goofettes that climb across the fences and barriers at zoos to try to pet the animals in the zoo and wound up getting mauled. So I'm like, you want to choose that bear? You go right ahead. Start with the soft tissue. Yeah. Yeah, they start with the soft tissue, man. So I'm like, yeah, you want to get eaten, but you want to be out there in the woods with a bear, you go right ahead. Take your chances. You know, these are the same women. I don't know if y'all remember that show. There was a show not too long ago where they had um two groups. They had a group of men and a group of women, and they put them in separate areas in the woods, and they had them out, living in elements. And after about a week or so, the men had built shelters and different things like that. They had they had organization, they had responsibilities that they did. They basically built themselves their own society. Meanwhile, women sat around looking at each other real stupid, and eventually the women started creeping on over to the men's camp, trading the ideal of sex in exchange for shelter resources and structure. You know, just like I said before, they let these same women they let women on gaming platforms and stuff, and the first thing they started doing was selling ass. You know, they weren't selling, products, such as uh dusters and you know, what is that little computer? Strawberry Pi computers and different stuff like that. They started advertising sex. Mike Reese says the Island Show by BG. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They uh they defer to selling sex. You know, and it's crazy, and it's all these young, look like younger millennials and younger Gen Z women. They say this because they are in fear, man. Like I said, with the way women lie and steal, because I tell you, all women steal. They stole in the Bible. Raspberry Pi, that's what it is. Raspberry Pi. Um, the Bible's got stories of women stealing. The first, well, if you read the Bible like they tell you to read it, the first woman in history stole from God. She ate from a tree that she was given specific instructions not to eat from. That's stealing, you know? So, you can't trust random women. Every time you look up, there's videos of shoplifting. It's stealing stuff, then they lie, all kinds of stuff. So it's like they don't realize how dangerous and chaotic they can be. And this is not all women. Most women attempt to follow the law and social structure, but most of them try to test the boundaries and try to get away with stuff that you know that they've been told not to do. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. It's funny. Um, like I said before, there's hundreds of videos on YouTube of women specifically being attacked by a bear, you know, but they're worried about being the victims of sex crimes and stuff for um and that's funny because, you know, as I said before, they willingly, these are the same people that put all kinds of foreign objects in their body parts, but they're worried some man is going to strong arm them for for what they got. The stuff that they be sticking vegetables and and toys and plunges and all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, they're worried some man is going to strong arm them for it. Yeah, you know, there's no amount of reasoning in the world that would make that you can't take what they say serious, and that's one of the examples of not being able to you know not taking the stuff women say serious. I would say you can't take 85% of stuff they say is serious. you know, you always got to look for the lie. You got to always look for the deflection and the dishonesty. You know, at this point, and that's it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. You know, I was listening to Coach Greg Adams, and he said that really that whole man versus bear thing, it is a shit test. I kind of agree in that they were looking to see if men got triggered, and a lot of men did. You know, a lot of guys went into shame, blame, and explain mode. Shout out to SBE. They wanted to pull up all kinds of stats and stuff, and I was like, for what? Them women don't care about it. They care about triggering men like you who want to prove them wrong. See, a man like me says, okay, go in the wood with the bears. Go in the woods with the bears, and whatever happens, happens. If you make it out, great. If you don't, that's on you. That is on you. You know. Yeah, man. Yeah, CGA was talking about that today, man, and it was crazy. It was he made a lot of sense. You know. Let me see if I could find. I had this one video, man, but this bear was in the studio with this woman, and he went all bear on him. Let me see if I can find that video. Let me see if I can find that video. Let me see if I can find this video. This was wild bear attack too. Let me see if I can find this video. I know I got it somewhere. I'm gonna have to go to YouTube for this, man. This video was crazy, man. Let me see if I can find this video. YouTube tripping, man. Let me see. This is on a TV show. a while back. I got it saved somewhere, but seemed like it didn't transfer like I wanted it to. Or maybe not, man. Maybe not. It was wild too. Yeah. One of the videos where, back in the day, whenever they had these people on these shows with uh animals, uh they would always have some dude with a karate gi on. Had all these videos of Cocaine Bear popping up, which ain't trying to see that. I actually saw that. Yo, man, I'm telling you, it's hundreds of bear attacks. Let me see if I can have to narrow down my search. Here it is. I got the video, man. I got the video. I got the video. Now what I got to do is I got to figure out how to share it. It's a oldie but goodie too. But even though this is an old video, there's a lot of videos of bears whooping ass. Because that's what they do. Let me see if I can pull this video up. Hopefully I could put it on here so we can see it. Let me see. All right, here we go. So that last video was a bear attacking a male trainer. That bear wasn't afraid of that man. So let's check this out. Fair use, fair use.
Animal trainer and circus bear are about to appear on a Polish TV show. The bear seems cute and cuddly, but animals can be unpredictable no matter what the setting. Watch again.
Gotcha, bitch.
The bear's back is to the woman when she goes to sit down, and when he turns, he's startled to see her so close.
That bear got her ass. Looked right at her like, yeah, you lunch today. Fair use, fair use.
Some say the woman's scent may have bothered the bear. Both of the bear's victims escape with only minor injuries.
She probably smelled like fresh salmon with honey dipped on it. Shout out to Patrice O'Neal. Fair use, fair use.
But they probably won't be working more animal shows anytime soon. But once bothered, he doesn't stop with her. Once she's free, he turns on one of her rescuers.
That bear hit her with the I like you and I want you. We're going to do this the hard way. Fair use, fair use.
In the end, both of the bear's victims escape with only minor injuries. But they probably won't be working more animal shows anytime soon.
Yeah. I would bet all the money I got in the bank that if they asked this woman right here if she would rather be in the woods with a bear or a man, she would pick man all day. All day. But, you know, these young girls say they'd rather be in the woods with the bear. So I say, okay. Mike Reed says these paws are rated E for everyone. Yeah. That bear got her ass. That bear got her ass real good. You know. And like I said, there are hundreds of bear attack videos on just YouTube alone. You know? So I'm like, I'm all for it. You want to go in the woods with a strange bear? That choice is put to you. If you're a woman and that choice is put to you and you said the bear, I say take them broads immediately to Yellowstone or the Everglades or the Rocky Mountains, wherever bears are. I'd say drop them women off in the woods. Drop them off in the woods, in the mountains, wherever bears live. Drop them off. You know, the crazy thing about it is the type of bear wasn't even specified. As we know, all bears in North America are omnivorous. We mentioned that before, but except one, that's polar bears. Polar bears are 100% carnivorous. All they eat is meat. And for them same little dumpy, lumpy bras that I was talking about, they would rather be in the woods with the bear. Let's put them on a glacier with a polar bear. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. There's no reasoning with these clowns. We know why they said it, and we know that no matter how you look at it, it's ultimately a statement of BS because these are the same women that depend on men around them to help them with whatever they need help with and to perform services to their benefit that they've never had a bad interaction with. All interactions with a bear in the woods, I would imagine, be bad. If that bear is within reaching distance, within grasping distance, every last one of them chicks are gone. So when you if you know a woman that agrees with that, I say cut her off from all benefit of your utility. Cut her off because she lets you know right there she don't appreciate anything you do or could potentially do for. She is a user. Let her ask the bear for it. Mike Reese says everything. They need men to do everything. Everything. Did y'all remember that all female engineer company a few years back? This had to be maybe 8 years ago. They made they put together some kind of bridge. It was a female led engineer company, and they did some kind of bridge or over like an overpass or a walkover in Florida, and it collapsed. They had the education and still couldn't get that shit right. They still couldn't get it right. Now I am not one of these guys that women ain't shit. I'm not that guy. Men and women need each other, um, and men and women are better together than they are apart. You know, um, men and women have to constantly, work on being able to work together to get things accomplished. And yeah, there's a lot of give and take that comes with that. You know, um, that's just being realistic. But at the same time, to distrust a whole group of people that you've never met, because you may have had one bad experience. And a lot of these women, I'm gonna tell you, you've had women that have had bad things happen to them, but you've had men that have had bad things happen to them. For them to write off a whole gender as dangerous, you know, when you start bringing up, as I mentioned before, the fact that women lie still, they can kill and get away with it. We've seen that in court quite a few times. I mean, here in Florida, you had the Casey Anthony situation. You know, I wouldn't want to be in the woods with some strange woman I didn't know. Mike Reese says a woman run company is one of the most dysfunctional places you would you would ever be in life. Listen, I know women who say they wouldn't want to work in a company with a bunch of women. I know women that are close to me. I know women that work with a bunch of women and they say it's horrible. It's horrible. There's always a problem. Do you know what? With men, when you have a group of men, we have ways of dealing with situations to if there are conflicts that come up, we have ways of dealing with it. And most men know that if you cross a certain line, the threat of violence is ever present. Women don't have, when you really look at it, they don't really have the same parameters. They really don't have the same boundaries or parameters, but they're afraid of random men. Women beat up men, they beat up kids, they beat up other women, and they get dealt with kid gloves. They are more protected than children in the United States. United States specifically, women are more protected than children. You think I'm lying? They're more protected than children. Prove me wrong. Prove it wrong. I ain't just saying this. I know this for a fact. Prove me wrong. It's a man. A woman can say you did something, be completely lying, and you're guilty until you can prove otherwise. There is no when there is a woman making an accusation of a man in both the legal court and the court of public opinion, you as a man are guilty until you can prove otherwise. If you can't prove it, you're gonna wind up with crazy prison sentence. You're gonna wind up getting fired from your job. You're gonna wind up getting socially ostracized. All of this stuff. But random men are dangerous. Men are in more danger from random men than women are. But this is what we're dealing with out here, man. This is what we're dealing with. And you know, I think a lot of this talk, stuff that I'm talking about, has been lost in the YouTube discussions. Now everything is relationships, how to get these women to act right, how to get them to date. Guys trying to find out how to get the women to date them and act right in relationships and stuff. And you know, um, I'm gonna tell you, women ain't gonna do nothing they don't want to do. It's straight up, you know. Man, it's crazy. I have guys ask me about dating advice and stuff, and I'm like, I listen, y'all are not gonna count what I say because I'm married. I've been out of the game almost 30 years. I've been with my wife a long time. I'm not giving dating advice. I don't want to talk about these trying to date these bucket heads today. All I know is that if my wife left tomorrow, I wouldn't date. Not in the US. I'd be a passport, bro. I'd go somewhere else, you know, because the women that are afraid of bears are out here terrorizing the dating market. Me as a married man, I can see that from the outside looking in. They're out here terrorizing the dating market, you know. And speaking of which, there's this YouTube situation that's going on with one B Taylor. Um, if you all have watched some panels in the nigga sphere, um, you may have seen her. And then there's Princella. You know, again, if you watch anything in the nigga sphere, um, these are two women who met on YouTube and got together. They were together for a few months. I want to say around maybe 3 or 4. They didn't last 6 months. They broke up and now they are trashing each other on YouTube. I think before I get to that, let's get back into this Princella and B Taylor situation. These are two. I don't know about B Taylor that much, but I know Princella. She goes in real hard on men. She said men are incapable of love and stuff like that, and she has some real hard stuff to say about men. Her opinion is real. It's crazy. Y'all thought the women thought Kevin Samuels was bad. If Princella was a guy and she talked about women the way she talked about men, they would have canceled her. She is the Mumia Obsidian Ali of women. Um, she talked about, she drags men pretty hard. And Mike Reed says Prince Fella, right? The stud maker. Well, you know, it's funny because she got with this woman, and I was listening to how she described how B. Taylor described her interactions with Prince Fella, and Prince Fella basically embodies all of the toxic stuff that she complains about men about. Prince Fella was that guy. She was a pookie. She was a pookie. B. Taylor even referred to her as Pimpin' P. Pimpin' P. Pimpin' P. And this grown woman, B. Taylor, alleges that Priscilla groomed her. First of all, if you're grown, ain't nobody grooming you. You, if you find yourself in a messed up situation, most of it's your fault because you can always walk away and say no. Only time is not your fault if you are strong armed and either blackmailed or something like that. Then okay, then you may have a case of saying you were victimized, but other than that, you ain't victimized. You're a volunteer. It's like all of these guys back in the day that were saying, these grown men that were saying Eddie Long molested him. If you over 18 and you had contact with Eddie Long, you was in a relationship. That wasn't you didn't get groomed. So, but she said Prince Fella groomed her. Come on, man. Don't nobody believe that, but unaccountable females and simps. Nobody believe that. Everybody else know that was a BS. It was a deflection. It was a deflection and a disclaimer and a gaslight. It was all of that stuff. Uh, dog whistle, all of that. All the terms for bullshit talking points. That's what it was. She didn't get groomed. You don't groom a grown person. You don't groom a grown person. But she claimed she got groomed by Priscilla. I guess they went out on a date, and Priscilla was filling her up, rubbing her feet and rubbing her leg, and you know, grinding up on it and stuff that if a man does on a first date, he is going to be labeled as an offender, as a crime offender, as a sex crime offender. But B. Taylor explained it, and she more or less uh kind of downplayed what Prince Fella did, you know. So yeah, I mean that whole situation just goes to show that women can't these women that don't trust random men, they can't trust random women either. They can't trust random women. They can't trust each other. They can know each other and not trust each other. They talk all of this stuff about men cheating on them and stuff. And, and it's like most of these men, vast majority of men are cheating with women. And if you think women don't know, women are born detectives. Women have a detective gene, and they gonna know if you got somebody. Especially if you got social media, they gonna know. It takes two people to cheat. There's a whole lot of just so much is proven in that whole situation that it's talked about in these spaces and stuff. It was like all the work was done for us. All the work was done for us. All we had to do was just sit back and watch these two explain their sides of that goofy story. It was comedy gold. It was comedy gold. I was like, man, you can't make it up. You know, we already know about the stats with the lesbian relationships, how they file the most divorces in those too. And you know, you can't blame the domestic violence in those relationships on men because there's no men involved. You know, they whooping each other. It's that this is why back when they were talking about making same-sex marriages legal, and everybody, and you had people that was against it. Oh no, man. I was all for it, and I was all for it not because I believe love is love and all of that stuff. I said it's going to prove everything men say. It's going to prove the men's side on marriages and relationships. It's going to prove everything we say because now you got to have stats. Now you got stats involved. You have quantifiable stats. You have empirical data that you can propose. You can you can deal with hypotheses against. Everything we have been saying is true. Everything. I said this is going to be. It's. I was like, let it happen because what's going to come out is going to prove us right. And in 2024, I like to say I was vindicated. I was vindicated. I got a little sister that is a stud, and she complains. She sound worse than the red pill guy talking about these goofy bras. She sounds just like him. Some in some cases worse. Talking about all of the stuff she go through with these bras. I told her one time, I said, you sound like most of these guys on YouTube and on social media. You say the same stuff. And she just started laughing, man. She started laughing. It's gonna be bad when studs come out more and more. Because it's going to happen. And they're gonna tell their experiences with these crazy women. And the great thing about it is you can't blame men. You can't blame men for it. Men are out of the equation. They're going to have to eat that. Pause. They're going to have to eat that, man. No diddy. They're going to have to eat it. And we're seeing it before our eyes. This whole Princella situation, Princella B. Taylor, it is gold. We should get another good 2 weeks of content out of it, unless they come out with some new videos with just the stuff that's already out there. Yeah, man. Yeah. Just imagine if they were in the woods with a bear. Mike Reed says our name is Bennett and men ain't in it. Men aren't in it. Hey, shout out to Mike Reed. Yeah, man. Oh, it's I'm telling you, it's gold. It is gold. It's like watching the neighbors fight. It's really better than that, man. I'm a fan of chaos like that. I love watching it. It is hilarious to me. I tell you, that situation's come to go. And I don't think that's going to be the only one we're going to see. I think we're going to see more. Mark my words. I don't think this is the last situation we're going to see. We're going to see some more. Because them ain't the only two um carpet munchers in space. Straight up. They're definitely not the only two on YouTube. We seen a situation where we seen several situations where uh same-sex female couples have been kicked out of whole countries. They got kicked out of whole countries. They've gotten thrown in prison in other countries, kicked out of countries. You know, they can't stop the noticing. They can't stop. All we got to do is sit back, watch, and make our content off of it. They are wealth of content. You know, they are wealth of content, and they they're the gift that keeps on giving in the worst way. And this is what they sound like.
At the end of the day, nobody knows what I went through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So nobody, him, whoever the fuck, you don't get to sit here and talk about shit.
Shout out to Brittany Renner. Yeah. Yeah. I think she's gonna wind up in one of them relationships. Sooner or later. She's gonna get frustrated. She's gonna try girls and it's gonna be a mess. I think it's coming. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm almost willing to bet money. You know. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's a wild world. We looked at this other video a while back. We looked at this other video a while back where the young carpet muncher was trying to figure out a way to finesse the sperm donor. Let me see if I can find it, man. See if I can find this. See if I can find this video, man. This is one I looked at not too long ago. I wasn't sure if it was a skit or if it was real. See if we can. Let's see if this is the video. My Instagram is bugging. This was the one where girl was trying to figure out how to finesse her brother. She was in a lesbian relationship that didn't work. So she was trying to figure out how to get the fair use. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, these women need to they need to be worried about each other because they are a danger to themselves and others, man. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy. They cause more chaos and crazy shenanigans Shout out to Reckless Shenanigans. But they cause more needless drama and chaos than men. The question needs to be asked. Would you They need to ask those women, would you rather be in the woods with a bear or another random woman? It would be interesting to see how they would answer that. And then once they answered it, I would show them all the woman on woman, the female on female attacks that happen. I would show them that, and then I would say, "Are you sure? You'd rather take your chances with a bear or with a random woman? Are you sure of your answer?" They need to be asked that, man. They need to be asked that. You know, there's a saying: behind every great man is a great woman, but nobody says behind every stressed out man is a woman getting the fuck on his nerves. I see more of that than the women behind a great man. For every one great man you see with a great woman behind him, you see 10 stressed out men with a stressed out woman behind him, with a woman getting on his nerves. Sorry about that. You see 10 stressed out men with some woman getting the fuck on his nerves. They have that saying that for every beautiful woman in the world is a man that is sick of her nonsense. That is 300% true. I tell you, man. You know what? I think one of the problems is life has gotten too easy. We as men have made life too easy for women, and they're bored. And when women get bored, they get dangerous and they say stupid stuff. They say and do stupid stuff. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. I tell you, boy, shout out to B. Taylor and Prince Fella. I tell you, man. You know what? It is times like this. I wish David Carroll, rest in peace, David Carroll. I wish David Carroll was still among us. David Carroll would have so much fun with us. Oh my God. He would take us down a rabbit hole. It would be classic. It would be classic, man. I'm telling you, it would be classic. So, anyway, if you come across a woman that has sentiments, or women that say they would rather be in the woods with a bear than a strange man, cut them off as much as you can. Cut them off from provision and utility and resources as much as you can. For everything you do for them, send them a bill. I keep saying this. If these are not women in your immediate circle, these are not women that come from you or a woman that you come from, send them a bill. Make them pay for everything. Make them come out of pocket for everything. And even some of the women in your family, if you see that they have sentiments like this, start charging them. Start making them pay for what you can provide. Anytime they ask for help, make them pay. Charge them money. They're going to take your time and your utility and all that other stuff you provide. Make them pay for it. Make them pay for it, man. Because I've seen situations where you've had guys do the best they can to take care of women. And she'll be mad about something and she'll disregard all the stuff that this man does for her day in and day out. And she'll focus on that one thing that's wrong instead of looking at the bigger picture saying, hey, this man does all of this stuff for me. He takes care of me. He protects me. He looks after me. All of this stuff. They'll disregard all of that and go, you you keep leaving the toilet seat up. And I'm tired of you leaving the toilet seat up. Stupid shit like that. Life is too easy for them. Life is way too easy for them, gentlemen. And I think we need to rethink some of the things we provide for them going forward. Make them earn their keep. On that note, I'm going to close this live. I appreciate you all coming. Shout out to Mike Reed for getting it popping in the chat. And I'll be back tomorrow with another live stream, probably around the same time. Anyway, this is Mr. Royce, Royce Media. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have any show ideas, shoot me an email. My email is in the channel description. Check me out on Rumble. Check me out on Facebook. Y'all be easy, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Later.